Well, all right. Welcome to the book club. I'm Dylan here with Matthias. JK, it's just Keith. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm here with D-Man, a.k.a. I don't have one for you, but yeah, all right.
You listened to the audiobook of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did a little bit of both, so.
It was awful.
Here at the Book Club, we're working out some bestsellers, and this week we'll be discussing some adolescent fantasy. No, not A Game of Spin the Bottle with Topanga and Wendy Peppercorn. I'm talking about 1986's Redwall by Brian Jacques? I don't know. I don't speak French. But if you'd like to recommend a book for us to read or reach out to us in your past episodes, you can visit our website, buddybookclub.com, or slide to our DMs on X or Instagram. That's Buddy Book Club Podcast. Listen to us on iTunes and Spotify. Download, subscribe, 5-star review, all that good stuff, please. And thanks, Keith. 4.15 on Goodreads, so it breaks the 4.0 threshold. This is the first of 22 books in the series. Our boy Brian was just churning them out. He was legitimately churning them out until the day he died. I think the last book in the series was released after he had died, so he was legitimately writing these for his life. Good for him. Do you have a history with Redwall, the Redwall series?
I don't think I do. I was just looking too. There's 8 prequels.
The interesting thing about the series, and I'm not a professional about it, so I'm sure people will just say, like, no, you're totally wrong. But it's not like Matthias's storyline and it just like follows him throughout. It's more of just stories in this universe.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yes, Martin the warrior appears in some of them, but for the most part, they're just like new characters and just that happen to be like either in Redwall Abbey or in Mosswood or Mossflower, or whatever it's called, or that kind of thing. So, yeah, I feel like I might have read I definitely read one, like this one, when I was a kid. I want to say I was probably in like 4th or 5th grade. And I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more, but I was never obsessed with it. I definitely read it when it was a little bit too advanced for me. You know, like, probably shouldn't have been picking up a book this long, but I decided to.
Until you're like in high school, I don't think this would be too advanced, honestly.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into some stock up, stock down. Keith, what do you have for stock up?
Being ready so you don't have to get ready, stock up. If the hero Martin the Warrior is the person you look up to, he's a warrior mouse. And that's what you wake up to every day being like, thank God Martin the Warrior occurred. Wouldn't you think that would kind of spawn some people that are like descendants of him that want to be warriors and like build an army and, hey, we have this great abbey. We got to protect it. Like, we got to do everything we can, make sure if anyone comes around, not just be like, well, someone's about to attack us, and everyone's like, well, what the hell do we do? And then bear arms all of a sudden. I feel like you kind of got to be ready for this type of stuff, especially when it's this prestigious of a place, right? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to just point out, too, is like, why are we hiding this great sword? What are we doing here? Shouldn't this be like hanging up on a mantle somewhere? Like, what's the point of, maybe this is covered in the 8 prequels, but what's the point of hiding this sword or misplacing it and then no one knows where it is and you have to go on this long adventure to find it? Like, come on. What's going on, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I like it.
I also like that they go on this long journey to find this sword, and then the cat's like literally just shits on it. He's like, yeah, it's a good sword, but who gives a shit? It's just about the person that has the sword. It doesn't really matter. And I was like, couldn't someone said this to him?
Yeah.
Now, chapter 1? What's going on?
It is something that I will discuss in my stock downs. But yeah, it was funny when he talks to the cat. The cat's like, it's just a sword. Like, it's cool. Like, we have
magical powers.
We have all these heirlooms and stuff. But this one's super cool. It's old, but yeah, it's got no magical powers. It's just a sword. And he's like, yeah, all right, cool.
Like, oh, well, fuck me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I did to get this sword?
My first stock up is librarians in the 80s and 90s.
Okay, like the looks that they got going, or ponytails, the
no,
shushing,
just the fact that they're stocking these shelves.
Dewey Decimal System.
I'm not sure that this is appropriate for like 8 to 10-year-olds who it was marketed to by all the librarians in our schools. I just think about when I hang around my sister's kids, I'm not allowed to say death or die, Really? They're like, oh, wow. You can't say that stuff around the kids. Like, they don't, like, they know. The kids obviously know.
Yeah.
But
what if you only have one pair of dice, or one dice? What do you say there? Pass the, oh my God, no, anything but that. Don't say it.
But we're talking in this book, You have a rat that's murdered in cold blood. Chicken hound, a young...
There's plenty of deaths.
Yeah, a young... Well, there's some like crazy ones. Like chicken hound, who's a young fox, is actually delighted in the death of his own mother, taking a like she deserved it attitude. The second she dies, like, God, what an idiot. Like, she deserves to die. I was like, what? This is your own mom. It's like, he's like the Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son. Like that's pretty much who he is. I know I use that all the time, but it's true here. The fox goes out, and then this same fox, chicken hound, he goes out and beats the lovable Father Methuselah to death with a sack of stolen goods. And on top, well, at least you're thinking, well, at least we have, these are the bad guys. So, okay, I get it. But then we have the pious abbot who, when the horde of rats is tunneling into the abbey and they break in, he pours 2 cauldrons of boiling water into the hole and basically murders them via boiling water and then covers the hole back up and traps them with it. This is the most pious of the bunch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think for a kid's book, there's
a small step below Game of Thrones. That's what this book was, honestly.
Yeah.
We got to the end of the book, and how he gets into the actual abbey is he tells like, hey, one of the other mouse. I can't remember where he's from, but he's like, I have your family held hostage. I'm going to murder them viciously if you don't open the door. And he's like, all right, I'll open the door. He opens the door, and then he walks in and cuts his throat or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even flinch. I was like, yeah, well, that's what happens. And I'm like, wait a second. If I was in 4th grade, I'd be like having nightmares reading this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was like, okay, at first it started and there wasn't any deaths except for maybe the like hundreds of rats that died in the overturned wagon. But it wasn't, it wasn't in detail. It was just like, oh, the rats flipped over and they're crying for help. But anytime something happened, it was a maiming. There were some maimings going on. And I was like, oh, is this going to be one of, like, it's fine. It's a kid's book. So I wasn't like upset about it, but I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those books where it's a battle, but no one actually dies. Like watching Captain Planet or something like that.
Well, we've read plenty of YA books where, a whole series will have less deaths than this one had in one chapter. I mean, and it's more mature writing than a lot of the YA books we've read, too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
I was like, Jesus.
I was just a little surprised by that. But I was happy that the librarians in the 80s and 90s decided to stock it on their shelves and introduce it to our generation. So I appreciate
Absolutely. That. That's why we're tougher, than the previous generation or the next generation, for sure.
Definitely.
Or sicker, one of the two. I can't tell.
What else did you have for stock up?
Jar Jar Binks stock up. I know the Sith Lord known as Jar Jar Binks gets a lot of shit after the Phantom Menace came out. His kind of broken English talking, his kind of like comic relief. That was until I read this book. Okay, listen to this book, and we have 3 chapters worth of broken English talk. I mean, I get it. It is cutesy. It's funny. It's whatever. But can we not do this for a whole fucking... It was like 3 hours of audiobook listening to them being like, miso, taka like this. I'm like, just fucking talk normal. Who gives a shit? I understand that they speak a different dialect.
Oh, this was the sparrows, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was when he was with the sparrows.
Yeah, it was so stupid. I mean, I'm all for... Hey, all birds have French accents, and all rats have Spanish accents, and I'm all for that. You give them accents. I'm good with that. But don't give me this dumbass broken English shit. What are we doing here? Jar Jar Binks wasn't that bad after reading that. I'm like, Jar Jar Binks I would kill for after this chapters. So, tough. Real tough.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just tie into your stock up here because I want to discuss it further. But one of my stock ups was a professional audiobook cast. Is a stock up.
Oh, stock way down. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, this is not a professional audiobook cast.
Oh, okay.
So our guy Brian did the narration. So you had issues.
That was fine.
Okay, but you still thought it was a little odd having that accent at first. I think you told me that. And his son does Matthias, which I thought Matthias was very amateur. I read the book too, and I liked the reading much. The reading of it was much more enjoyable. So yeah, whenever I'd listen to the audiobook, I was like, oh, this is tough. This is a tough listen. And I did listen to some of the sparrow part, and I just couldn't do it because I agree with you. It was very Jar Jar Binksy. And unfortunately, I was listening to it, and then I said, oh, I can't do this, and I picked up the book. But then that's all I heard in my head. As I'm reading it, I was like, shit, I already got stuck in this.
Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with the audiobook cast was
Cluny the Scourge. Right.
Was Cluny, yeah.
Oh my god!
Because
the worst I think I've ever, the worst acting I've. I think I could be a better actor. I'm a terrible actor. I think I could act better than this dude.
He was the Simpsons episode where Homer goes to New York and he's trying to get some kalkalash from the cart guy, and the guy's like, no bowl, stick, only stick. He's like, do you want Mountain Dew or crab juice? And like he's that guy, or maybe the guy in Seinfeld. When Jerry goes to his restaurant, he wants to like help promote the guy's restaurant.
The Pakistan guy that's doing the wag, like finger wag.
Yeah, that guy. So that's the accent that they decided to go with for Cluny.
I was thinking it's the movie that everyone makes fun of. That they made a movie about the movie.
I know the Room. No,
it's with Seth Rogen. In it. Yeah,
it's not Seth Rogen. It's who's the guy that's canceled? From Pineapple Express.
Franco. It's Rogan and Frank. Yeah, it's them. Disaster Artist?
Disaster Artist. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's Tommy Wiseau or whatever. That's who it's that level of acting and overacting somehow within the same voice. It was terrible. But anyways.
Yeah, so, I mean, I get it. I get your point of the Jar Jar Binks thing, and I get my point of the professional audiobook cast. I think it should have been a little better. They really could have had. I feel like it should have just been a really good woman who did the audiobook because she can play all the characters better, I thought, but that was my own take. Other stock ups I had was fortifications stock up. So yeah, we're kind of past the whole medieval castle thing, and I was listening to some history thing where they explained like why, and I don't think it was as basic as why we got away from it. I don't think it was as basic as like gunpowder because a cannon could just blow it up and that was that. It was something else. But either way, at this time with the weaponry that is available, thank God that Redwall is as built up as it is and well maintained by the people within, because they're all not warriors. There's not a warrior in the bunch. They've decided that, and I guess this also ties into my other stock up, which is having a standing army stock up, because there's
be ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, there you go. Because they say at the beginning the Father Abbot, I don't even remember what that guy's name was, but R.I.P. He's like, yeah, we don't have any fighters. Like, don't worry, Matthias, about like becoming Martin or anything like that, because that was an old time. We needed him for this one specific thing, but like we don't have to worry about that now. We just help people. Like we're just here to help people. That's all we do. And that never ends up well for people in books and movies when that's the kind of situation. So if you have a warlord coming in, what are you going to do? So thank God they have these fortifications. Granted, I got to give a shout out to all the people of Redwall the critters, all the critters, the woodland critters of Redwall, because although they might not be warriors, they were stout defenders. They all did everything they needed to defend Redwall, and most importantly, courageous. They were willing to lay down their lives. They weren't fleeing at the sight of Cluny the Scourge. They were ready. So I appreciate them from that aspect, but it's kind of like the United States between World War I and World War II, when they just decided, hey, we're going to totally demilitarize, even though there's this Hitler guy hanging about. And then all of a sudden Hitler comes to power and they have to turn the whole machine on again. I don't support where we are now necessarily, where like a third of the budget goes to defense spending, but somewhere in between, happy medium between doing nothing and doing something is probably where you should be.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I will say also the real reason that their defense was good, and this is my next stock up as side characters, is my girl, Constance the Badger, who is just about that life. Like, she's an actual badass. But I think she's actually the hero of the book, honestly.
Yeah, she's my favorite character.
Yeah, me too. Okay, yeah, by far. While Matthias is off playing Adventure Story, she's like, well, I got to actually stay here and actually defend this place, because I mean, I don't know what Matthias was thinking, but wouldn't it be helpful just to have him there without a sword, helping defend the place so it never got taken over? But she's there. She's devising big bow and arrow contraptions. I wish they just let her like off the hook when the Scourge comes the first meeting. Yeah, that's the head of the snake. Just kill him right there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you walked into this place. That was stupid. Yeah, you're dead now. See you later. What are you going to do now?
Yeah, take that leash off. Who cares about hospitality rights or whatever the case is?
Well, once you start threatening someone, it's like 300. Once you start threatening someone in your place, it's like, well, now you're done fucked up. Yeah. You came in here respectfully. Maybe we'd have a little partnership. Maybe we'd have an agreement. But now you're fucking dead. See you later. And that's what my girl Constance would have done had they let her off a leash. But the brothers or whatever, your boys that was pouring oil on people by the end was like, we got to be hospitable. And next thing you know, he's lighting people on fire.
Next thing you know, he's dead.
Yeah, well, he died for the cause. It's fine.
No, but I agree. Yeah, he's like, let's be hospitable. And then, like you said, he's boiling, like literally boiling people's faces off.
Yeah, but then we got, I mean, the main characters I didn't really love. I mean, I think they weren't that great, but all the side characters are awesome. We got Basil Staghair, great.
Yeah, Basil
talks that great. Shit.
Love
that.
Loves to eat.
Yeah, Basil Exposition too. We love that. Logalog. I just like that name.
Yeah,
Squire Julian Gingerbeard. I thought it was like Gingerbeard, but I like that better than
that's the
cat,
right?
Like, yeah, and Captain Snow. I mean, all these people were hilarious. Even the side villain characters were good. So yeah, I loved it. I mean, the book should have been about those people because the good and bad guys like Martin and like you could write. I could write those people. Like they're just too one note. Like they're like, well,
Matthias,
I have to do this because I'm brave.
Yeah,
Matthias. Sorry, yeah. They're just all too one note. And same with.
Did you like Father Methuselah?
Him and like all the other people inside kind of just blended together. So I didn't really.
Yeah, I thought that's one of the things I really liked about the book, and it was in my loves, was that he did such a good job with all the characters that they were all uniquely them. Maybe Methuselah and the main abbot guy could have been kind of one and two, but the rest of them were all extremely unique, had unique characteristics. You knew who they were talking about for the whole time, except for maybe the mom and daughter Sparrow. Yeah, those were like the same people, just one was the mom and one was the daughter. Yeah, but yeah, the Sparrow King, and he was his own, obviously Asmodeus was its own thing. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job at that. Did you have any other stock ups?
Last one, quick one. Arming kids stock up.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was a funny scene. There was
child arming.
Basil Staghair is talking to one of like the child mices, and his mom's nearby, and he's like, "Listen, I can't give you a sword. Your mom's right there. That would really be irresponsible for me. Here's a knife." I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "All right, sounds good." I just like that scene.
Yeah, because the knife, you got to get up close and personal. Kill him with a
he's
knife.
like, you want to feel the blood on your hands. And sword, you might not get that. Where this is, you got to, find that artery and then you feel it. Yeah. I was like,
you're going to hear their dying breath in your ear with this thing.
Yeah.
This will affect you forever. My last stock up was cover art. I just had to give a shout out. I didn't even look it up. That's just bad podcasting on my part. But whoever did the cover art for all this stuff, not only for this one, but for all of them, honestly, as a kid, I just remember going in. And that's, I think, why I read it in the first place, because I was into it. I just saw that cover art and I was like, okay, there's a mouse.
Pete lying.
Pete ain't lying with this stuff. He's got a great job. Did a wonderful job, Pete. So yeah, I mean, you can look up the rest of the cover art for the other books, but it's all just so well done. So I appreciated him there. What about Stock Downs?
Stock Down, arranged marriages.
Oh.
How about the end? They kind of just throw in the marriage. They're like, all right, as my dying last wish, Cornflower, you get married to Matthias, which Cornflower had, I'll be honest with you, a really, really tough book. She has a big stand at the Abbey where she saves a bunch of people from a big attack. And how is she rewarded? They're like, all right, Toots, good job. Go back into the kitchen now. I was like, oh, okay. No honorable name passed down to her for doing that. Nothing like, and head, mother of the Abbey or something like that, right? Just something at least. Nothing given to her. And then they're like, and Matthias is such a good warrior. He needs a wife to, be there to cook him food and do everything for him. You're that now. And I was like, that's the marriage proposal? Like, oh, Jesus. It was kind of like Chewbacca at the end of Star Wars where they don't give her a medal. Yeah. I was like, she kind of just got shit on. And then earlier in the book, too, I don't know if you got this, Matthias is like crying in the corner. I forget why. He's upset about something. Cornflower walks in and she's like, listen, you're so money, babe. You don't even know
Yeah.
it. You're a brave warrior. You got that swag on top of swag. Every mouse wants to be you. Female mice want to be with you. You're like my boo. I love you. And he's like, you know what, Cornflower? You're right. And you're okay, too. And he walks away. That was it. I was like, wait, what? She's like, and I may be destined for something. I don't give a shit, though.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
He
So
was
tough
crying.
with
I remember
her.
he was crying for righteous reasons. I think it was like for the abbey or something like that. And
Yeah,
she was like, that's how you're a good person, because you care this much that you can cry. Because he's like, I'm not a man because I'm crying. And she's like, no, this makes you more of a man.
He's like, that's so nice of you, but where's my fucking apple pie, bitch? Go get it now.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Art girl Cornflower. She didn't get the love she deserved. But I think she did love Matthias. So, it was supposed to happen.
She was one note, too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, speaking of Matthias, that's my stock down. It's Matthias. He's just got to get his head out of his ass and quit this obsession with Martin's sword. It was the only thing that was in it. The second Cluny gets there, he's like, all right, I got to get this sword, dude. It's like, why?
Hadn't he been doing this beforehand, too?
Yeah,
Like,
if you're so into this sword situation, why weren't you spending the rest of your life before this doing it? He's like, I got to find the sword. They're like, okay, Cluny's at the walls. He's going to siege. Like, we need all hands on deck. He goes, I need to find the sword, dude. What are you going to do with it? You don't even know how to swing a sword. You're a monk's apprentice. What are we talking about here? Like, focus on the task at hand of protecting the abbey. And I know it doesn't play out this way, and he does use the sword to definitely defeat Cluny. But that whole thing doesn't make any sense anyways, especially because the Squire Cat said the sword has no power. He has no training. There was no montage of him learning how to fight with the sword, and then he's able to just in single combat take on Cluny the Scourge. They say the sword is just a sword, so maybe there are some magical powers that we don't know about or whatever the case is. But yeah, it was a flaw and potentially
he was like
a hate.
reincarnated as Martin. I didn't understand that part where they're like, your name's carved in here, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, so they're
Wait,
connected somehow. So maybe somehow he has like an innate ability to wield the sword. He and Martin are connected, as are Cluny and Matthias somehow, that he's been getting these dreams. But the whole sword quest is really what Matthias's whole book. Even at one point when he's going to try to like get back the piece of the tapestry that has Martin on it, which I guess is a big deal. I don't know. Like, it's a painting or
didn't like the banner used to matter a lot back in the day?
Yeah,
like,
so I was thinking about that. I was like, well, I guess you always want to hang on to your banner, and it means a lot to people. So if it's a morale thing, fine. If you're going to go on a solo mission to do it, even though like the abbot or whatever said not to, then go do it. But in that process, he sees and saves some hostages. But he's not even really interested in saving the hostages. He's like, I just need to find this tapestry. And they're like, help, save us, Matthias. He's like, where's the tapestry? Tell me where the tapestry is. So, Matthias.
Women and children first. Well, actually, the tapestry first. And then, I also still don't understand. You're literally looking up to that tapestry every day, being like, what a great guy. And no one thinks, you know what? I kind of want to be like him. I'm in church training or anything like that. They're just like, yeah, he's a good guy. All right. Let's go back to what we're usually doing.
All we needed was a couple pages of that Matthias had a heavy stick that he was practicing with the Badger. He and Constance were just out there, and he was fighting her with a sword, which is obviously, she's bigger and badder than anybody else. So if he can take her down, of course he can take anyone else. So that's the only thing I needed. I didn't have any other stock downs, though. That was the only one.
All right, last one for me was Finding Nemo stock down.
Oh, how dare you.
So I guess everyone else can talk in this world, all the animals, everyone, and people are making alliances not to eat other animals, but murdering fish is completely fine. Even the vegetarian was like, yeah, I'll occasionally have some a fish salad, but other than that, like, those aren't real. I'm like, no? So everyone else is fine? Every other animal's okay?
All these animal books and movies and stuff, there's always a line drawn as to where it stops, you know? In The Lion King, for example, it's Timon and Pumbaa just love grubs, and they're just slurping down grubs nonstop. But if you were to zoom in a little bit, the grubs are going, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
stop eating me!" So,
Yeah, that's right. Good point.
If you're running a business and your ads aren't working, listen up. Covell Marketing has managed over $120 million in ad spend across Google, Meta, and TikTok ads. They've helped clients actually grow their sales and leads, not just get clicks that go nowhere. Paid search, paid social, full digital marketing consulting. You want less jargon and more results? Then go to Covell.io, that's Covel.io, and get your free audit and tell them Buddy Book Club sent you. Got a golf trip or a scramble round coming up? 4Card is the free website your group needs. Set up a match in 2 minutes, share a link with your crew, and everyone's on the same live leaderboard all round long. No more texting for scores. Real-time updates, group chat, photo sharing, it's all there. Try it on your next round at 4card.app. That's FORECARD.app.
Did you have a favorite scene or favorite part of this one?
I think just you touched on it a little bit, but I think the historical war aspect actually was my favorite. I know that's not really a scene, but like they had battering rams and they had different strategies and they had all these kind of actual war things being talked about, which I thought was kind of cool. Like for a kid's book to bring in like historical things and just kind of implement them.
Yeah, it was like siege warfare situation going on.
It was like, how do we get into this place? Because obviously it's a well-defended, like, castle. Like, all right, well, we got to either knock down the door, we got to come in from the top, we got to come in from the bottom. So they were just like trying all these different ways. And frankly, had to defend it pretty well. I mean, other than the whole one guy can just open the gate, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, that was the biggest issue was you got to, and they even said, like, you got to protect the gate, So I agree with you that was some of my favorite stuff as well with the honeybee, like having the barrel of the honeybees to drop on the people with the battering ram. Mm-hmm. Because, I love battering ram scenes. There's in every good siege movie, there's battering ram scenes. I mean, you have it in Lord of the Rings, of course. There's pretty much anything you're going to have some cool battering ram scenes. And how they decide to do it, usually it's hot pots of oil or something along those lines. So to use in this world not only a barrel full of bees that then kills all the rats, which is another terrible way to die, but then to pour vegetable oil over the side so that they can't
make it slippery.
Make it slippery so they can't use it was next level thinking. The tunneling ideas were great from both sides. Of course, you're going to be tunneling. I mean, up until probably Vietnam and stuff, there was tunneling involved, but in World War I, especially, if you listen to our boy Dan Carlin when he talks about the tunneling that was going on to get between the lines in no man's land, crazy. It's like the craziest job.
I mean, if you're watching, what's it called? You'll know about that.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
That was his job. He was one of the people that was digging in. I can't remember what they called him, but he was one of the mole people. So yeah, I thought that was all well and good, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So yeah, I'm with you on that point, and we both agree for best character, Constance, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about Cluny as a bad guy, though?
I like I said, I think he was a little too one note. The accent was terrible. I also thought he wasn't very good. Like, didn't really win anything. He didn't. So, like, I was gonna say this kind of in my loves almost, but the hero's journey is typically the hero that needs to do something, and then something really bad happens, and then something really good happens, and it ends kind of. Cluny attacks and just gets defended against like 5 times in a row. Like, so there wasn't really any roller coaster. It was basically just the abbey winning every single time, which is very rare at any story. But I like that actually, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it was in my lingering questions. Is Cluny actually a warlord? Or is this all a farce? Is he just some giant rat who got people to follow him and he has a reputation, but there's no substance to it? Because, like you said, he never won anything. He never gained an inch until, I guess it was a decent idea, and I'm not even sure it was his idea, to get the mouse to go in and open the door for them. But one, that should never happen. They should have somebody on the gate who can't do that. So that was unfortunate. But also, he loses to Matthias. He's supposed to be this great fighter. The only one he killed was the old abbot guy who he stabbed with his poison tail. he couldn't beat Matthias whatsoever, and his whole army was pretty much looking to betray him whenever they potentially could have a chance. So
Yeah. Well, he also like leaked the battering ram plans because he's like, I'm going to use a different plan. And I was like, that's a pretty good idea. But then they use the battering ram, and then so they're ready for it. And then also he lets the other plans slip because he tells them. I was like, you're an idiot then. What do you like? Why would you give them any plans? I don't.
None of it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he wasn't a very good
He
leader.
was good at intimidate, or he was ruthless, but he was also so ruthless, but somehow still had people following him, which I didn't get. I was like, yeah, he should have been overthrown a while ago. I guess he was ruthless, and he knew when people were trying to overthrow him. Is his two skills. Other than that, he wasn't very good.
But like half of his army got killed in that upturned wagon, and some of them were just injured, and he could have gone back and grabbed him, got him healed up so they could still fight. And so
I
he's
thought
like,
that was
nah,
fake. That was real.
that was real.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they were just being like pretending like they were injured so that they could.
No, because I think at first, before they even say like, "Oh, we're hurt," to the Abbey people, they're like, "We'll help you," and they say, "No, screw you." Before that, he's like, someone comes in, they're like, "Oh, they're crying out for help after the thing fell." He's like, "Don't worry about it. And they're weak or something." It's like, all right.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
Yeah, I thought he was a good character. I mean, he wasn't a good warlord, but his outfit was pretty sweet. His battle outfit, and I just liked his
poison tail.
Yeah,
cool.
his pure evilness was great. You know,
Yeah.
he was legit. The only thing he wanted was power.
He's an 80s bad guy. I mean,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
we kind of love.
Yeah,
you know,
we
he's
do love that.
Slightly foreign and has an accent based on the book, and then he's
Hans
one
Gruber?
note, all bad. Hans Gruber was actually a great character. He actually had some shades. You know, you could pull back the onion and have a little bit of shades on that.
Well, I was going to say, one of my loves is it's just a straight up good versus evil, and that's nice. Everything that we read has to be layered and cloaked, and especially with the thriller stuff, you know, it's like, are they this? Are they that? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? And then save it all for the last 5 pages, and you're like, oh, whoa, twist. Wow, that's interesting. Here, it's just like, Matthias is good, Cluny is bad, and good is going to prevail.
That's
you
the character
know good
development,
is going to prevail. So it's like, all right, how does it prevail? And that's it. These creatures, are you a mouse? You're good. Are you a rat? You're bad. Are you a weasel? You're bad. Are you a badger? You're good. You know, it's like, you're a rabbit, you're good. You're a fox, you're bad. We know these things. They're innate. We understand these things just in our own lives, you know? So
do snakes also have the eye thing?
That was my lingering question as well.
Okay.
Do snakes hypnotize in real life?
That's from
Jungle Book,
Jungle Book, yeah.
And I think also in Robin Hood, the Disney
I feel like it's in
animated
Aladdin
Robin Hood.
too. Isn't
Also in Aladdin.
Okay, yeah. So is that just a known thing? I didn't know if that was real or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
neither did I. I was like, wait.
is it one of those things like sand traps or sand
quicksand?
Quicksand, where it's like, oh no, that's just made up. But every single person stole from it and uses everything now.
Well, quicksand is real. I think based on the entertainment we were watching when we were kids, they made it seem like we were all going to come in contact with quicksand in our life. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like my theory on Oasis is being fake. I think there might be one or two, but I think they're not real. Also,
Oasis
there's no
in the
Oasis.
desert?
Yeah. And the band potentially.
The band isn't real.
Yeah. Also,
I can assure you, Oasis are real, but
Oasis.
Oasis High. But
no, they're not real. Look up pictures of them and find one for me. They're not. They're like AI pictures of them. There's not humans in them. I don't know. They're not real.
Well, I don't think it's enough that you can just like. Well, some are big enough that you can support.
You don't think any influencers would fly out to an Oasis? That'd be pretty sick, right?
I'm sure they do and would. I happily don't.
Read the blog one time, kids. Read the blog one time, would you? You get learnt one time.
Yeah. So the straight up good versus evil I liked, and I don't know if snakes hypnotize in real life. I think it must be like a cobra thing or a snake charmer.
Yeah.
But snake charmers, they do their flute thing and the snakes move. But from my understanding, it's just the movement of the flute.
AI says no, snakes cannot hypnotize their prey. The idea is a myth made by popular by movies like The Jungle Book.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Why the mist exists. No eyelids, freeze response. A small animal freeze to in place when they see a predator. They think it'll cause them not to eat them.
Oh, got it. So no eyelids, and
They move slow.
Yeah, that checks out. It all makes sense. I like it.
I'm not. I don't believe that. I think they do. Now I'm almost doubling down.
No, you're going the other way. I love it.
Yeah.
What did you love about Redwall?
I think it's one of those books where I talk about a lot of books where I look back at it and think it's worse. This is one of those where I look back, I'm like, that was actually kind of cool. It's a crazy adventure. I mean, none of the parts within the adventure were that great or that fun. But like when you look back, it's like, damn, climbed up to like the bird's place, and then they went to a different field and saw these other, what were those other mice called?
They were like gorilla shrew. Those ones.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a shrew was a different animal, but I thought it was.
Yeah, shrew is definitely a different animal.
I didn't know that. Yeah, but anyways, there's shrews. There was like so much going on. The snake. Oh, this is kind of a very cinematic, like Lord of the Rings meets. I mean, it is kind of like Lord of the Rings. There's a big war in the middle of it. I mean, it was kind of pretty cool to think about. And again, this is an awesome kids book. Like if this is what I was reading when I was younger, I would have been way more into reading. So, and decent amount of death we were talking about, which I love for a kid's book too. One step down from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think for me too, what attracted me to it when I first started reading it, and I think this, I don't actually remember, but I think this is one of the things that got me into like fantasy books, even though this isn't really, there's not a lot of fantastical elements besides them being like anthropomorphic and, characters. There's no magic really, or there shouldn't be because that sword isn't magical. But I just love an anthropomorphic adventure. Maybe it was my 90s Disney upbringing where those were some of my favorite movies and they were always animals, or, I grew up with like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I was like, okay, this is that wheelhouse, but then it's more fantasy. And obviously I have some sort of inclination towards fantasy because I grabbed onto it. But yeah, I think that's one of the things I loved about it was if this was people, it wouldn't have been as enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good point.
Do you have any other loves?
October Ale? I didn't know that was. I thought that was something that's more recent that was invented. But that's an inspiring idea. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Did they put a little cinnamon sugar rim on top of it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember a lot of TV series or any even movies really having this much death the last 40 years until like recently with HBO type shows, right? Like I don't remember like main characters,
yeah,
or
like
even
real
side
like
characters
real
dying.
characters. Yeah, you'd see henchmen go, but that was
like you
about
didn't,
it.
or they'll get like a bomb would go off and everyone would be injured, but no one would, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was kind of interesting. But, yeah.
I loved any hunt for a mythical sword I'm in for. And I know I've been shitting on Matthias this whole thing, but it was a fun storyline throughout this battle because, Cluny's doing his whole siege. You're trying to get in, and Constance is really the number one trying to defend Redwall, while the whole time Matthias is on this side quest, really, to find this mythical sword. And whether it's, Arthurian legend, which I love, and we've talked about that terrible 90s TV show where those football players go back and become King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, which is hilarious.
Terrible? But, you mean great, but okay, go on.
But yeah, whether them figure out the stairs, like, oh, the W matches in the middle, so that's the stair to look at. Am that is, or I am that is, being Matthias. And the way that it's written is you can figure it out. You can figure it out right before the characters do. So I think as a kid, especially if you're a kid that likes puzzles and stuff, it's fun because you're kind of with him on this journey and figuring it out with him. The funny part about his hunt for Martin's sword to me, though, was that it always became the princess is in another castle type of situation. Like from Super Mario Brothers, where you'd feel like, oh, he did all the steps to get there, and they'd be like, here's the scabbard. It's like, wait, what? It's like, oh, and then it's like, oh, it's the weather vane. You got to go up there. It's like, oh, cool. The sword is the weather vane. Oh, that's probably what it is. And it's like, nope, that's not it either. Which then, leads him to the Sparrow King who he has to defeat, which then
So like
leads
National
him...
Treasure, the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then it leads him to the cat, who then leads him to the owl, which then leads him to the snake, Matthias, who he has to beat to then actually get the sword and go back to Redwall to defeat Cluny. So yeah, any hunt for a mythical sword I'm in for. Sword in the Stone, underrated Disney flick, by the way. What about hates?
I thought the ending was a little confusing. Just a lot going on. But I did like that he got his bell rung at the end. All right, I'll be here all week. Okay, anyways. And there was a lot of, you just mentioned, like, them figuring things out. There was a lot of, like, by God, I figured it out. And then the guy's like, what have you figured out? And then he'd be like, you don't know? And then he would explain it. And I'm like, all right, after the 5th time of this, like, just tell me what it is. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing, I wasn't necessarily like hooked or like, I need to go back to this book. It was kind of a little bit slow for me. I think, again, we're used to reading adult thrillers, and this one's probably set the stage for a lot of better young adult and kid like books that like they've taken from this. So I do appreciate that it's kind of like, you know, a Goodfellas or a Godfather, where you're like, oh, all the other movies just steal from it, and that's why if you watch them now, they seem slow or different or whatever. But yeah, so.
Yeah, it's not a series that I'm excited to continue because we're not the target market. I did enjoy it, and I thought it was well said by you in that this is a type of book where it's aging nicely in my mind, where a lot of times it's the opposite. And even as I was reading it or listening to it, I was like, all right, this is a little childish or whatever the case is. But now, in retrospect, I'm looking back at it and be like, that was fun. That was a fun romp. Like, I'm glad I spent time with those characters, and I don't necessarily need to go back to it, but it's definitely something where, you know, when my daughter's 7 or 8 and he's like on the border of being able to do it, it's like, oh, I'll read this to you. You know, like, we can read this together. You want to know what death
is? I got you.
Daddy, what's pouring boiling water on someone do? It's like, all right, well, let's watch this video.
Well, that's why you don't charge a front-facing castle wall. You need to know, obviously, that.
Yeah, we're talking about siege techniques. Yeah, she's going to be the next Alexander, which is actually what Dan Carlin's doing his series on now. That's phenomenal. But yeah.
Alexander the Great?
Alexander the Great, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we've talked about some of the hates that I had, so none of them were that big, but the whole sword actually not being magical, yet him being able to kill him was kind of a hole for me. And I agreed with you on the audiobook aspect. So yeah, outside of that, nothing really. I love in general in fantasy books when they have here's what happened afterwards. But I didn't really need it for this one. And it's not that long. It's like 2 pages.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that... It was just like, the crops are going in. I was like, all right, what's going on?
Yeah, it's like crops are going in. They took the 1 bell, and they made it into 2, and they named it Methuselah, and they named the other one Matthias, and Cornflower is tied to a stove, and she can't leave, because now she's, it's like, all right, I don't need any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Other news and notes in that department, Netflix did acquire the adaptation rights to the story in 2021, but then sadly in April of this year, it was canceled. So they will not be adapting it. But there is a kids series from the 90s, I want to say, animated series about Redwall and some of the other stories. So people can check that out if they want to. All right, Keith, Redwall, what do you give it and who's it for?
I would give it just personally a 3 out of 5, but I think if I were a kid, it'd be a 4 to 4.5. I think that's how I would raise it. But yeah, for me, it was nice. I'm happy we, got to relive that, but I wouldn't go back to it, as you kind of mentioned. And then it's for, obviously, I think, young adults who probably they're a little bit darker like I was when I was a kid. Probably would have liked this a lot more. So, yeah.
I think your whole mindset would change if you had read the book and not listened to the audiobook. When I was younger,
yeah.
No, just not listen to the audiobook. The audiobook was so bad.
Yeah. Audiobook, yeah.
And some people love it, supposedly. I looked up online about the audiobook. People are like, oh, it's so great.
I was going to play a clip for you because I was like, you don't understand how bad this Cluny voice is.
Yeah, I know. I listened to it and I understood how bad it was. So that's why I was like, as I was reading the book, I was like, this is great. And then I listened to the audiobook and say, this is bad. So that's the difference. I probably give it a I'm gonna say 325 to 35. I don't know exactly
All right.
exactly
Well, not much higher than me.
where I land. Well,
Yeah.
it's probably closer to like a 3.5, but
Okay.
I think not only it's just like you said, target market. As a kid, I remember loving it, so there's that. But I never went back to it as a kid, so maybe that tells you something there. But like I said, I'd definitely like read it to my kid or encourage them to read it when they were older. And I think if this was, you're at a ski house or something like that, and you're there for a few days, and this was it in the wall, like this is, or in the bookshelf there, like this is what I'm taking to the bathroom with me to read a few pages of while I take a dump. So
Okay. Yeah.
that's who's
I
it
hate it.
for. All right. Well, that was Redwall. What do we got coming up next?
Along Came a Spider, Alex Cross, first book by James Patterson.
Yeah, it's
Alex
James
Cross
Patterson's
series.
first book, so people love James Patterson. So I feel like we should do that, and that'll be fun. So that's on the list. It may be coming out next. It may not be, but we also have
Mad Mabel is a newish book, dark humor, crime. So 4.4 on Goodreads, and it's already got a lot of reviews. So we'll give that a go. Why not?
It's some crime thriller writer out of Australia. So I feel like it's pretty.
Well, we can try. I'll both test out our Australian accents, so that's good.
Yeah, we'll give that a go. I don't know if the characters are. I don't know if it's set in Australia.
We'll test them out either way.
Yeah, so we got those coming up within the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for those, and if you're interested in reading along, check those out now, and then catch up with us when we do those episodes. But Keith, thanks for talking Redwall, Asmodeus, and the like, and I'll catch you for the next one.
Alrighty.
All right, bye now.